Focus on health, and now a team of scientists have discovered why malaria mosquitoes prefer to feed on blood from people already infected with malaria. The findings could lead to new ways to fight malaria without using poisonous chemicals. Zinzi Kibiku has more.
Swedish scientists have discovered that the malaria parasite in infected humans sends out a signal to attract mosquitoes to feed from them and continue the cycle of infection. Together with their colleagues, Professor Ingrid Fay of the Department of Molecular Biosciences discovered that the system helps the malaria parasite to spread and survive without killing the hosts. In a laboratory at Stockholm University, the scientists experimented by feeding mosquitoes with infected and uninfected blood.
I always see when I offer the infected blood to mosquitoes, they are faster. And then after that, I discussed with my mentor, Ingrid Fay, the professor Ingrid Fay, and then I just explained my understanding depends on this system. And she offered me to basically prepare a test for that. And then I make it and I understand it's really fast. In 90 seconds, all the mosquitoes come and are really fed and completely engorged and fly away.
The parasite produces a molecule called HMBPP, which stimulates human blood to release more carbon dioxide, making the blood more attractive to mosquitoes and causing them to eat more.
And the interesting thing was that when we took away the red blood cells from the blood and just gave them serum with this molecule, they didn't care. So it was the same with the control and the actual test, which was really interesting. And from that we could go on and find out then that it was the red blood cells that were activated or inducing the release of certain smells or volatiles that, in addition to carbon dioxide, attracted the mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes were previously thought to randomly collect the malaria infection and pass it on by biting uninfected hosts.
For a long time, we know malaria in the field is transmitted with infected and uninfected people. Most of the people think it's a chance mosquitoes go and bite on infected people by malaria parasite and get the parasite, and then next time they go and bite another person and can transfer the parasite to the next person. But we understand, no, this is not a chance. Actually, the parasite make a signal for its own transmission. And if we can just disrupt these signals, then we can just maybe disrupt this cycle of malaria after this long time. The mosquitoes would like to bite the infectious person. We trap these mosquitoes, then we control the system, and trapping could be the best and the first idea for us.
The scientists say they are now researching ways to combat malaria by disrupting the transmission of signals, thus breaking the cycle of infection. Zinzi Kibiku, KTN News.
Well, to debunk these myths on mosquitoes and malaria, let's have our medical correspondent, Dr. Masi Korir, just to shed more light on this new development. Thank you so much for joining us on Worldview, Dr. Masi.
Thank you.
Let's begin with these poisonous substances that we've been using to treat malaria, first of all. Poisonous substances.
Well, we all know medicines are poisons. That's like the first rule, because medicines are supposed to disrupt the functional system of either the infectious parasites or bacteria or viruses. So they distract the body system in a way. So that's why they are poisonous, because all medicines are poisonous. So whichever medications that are used for malaria, from when we're using quinine to now we're using artesunate and the likes, and artemisinin compounds, now those are the poisonous substances.
Right. So
but
let's
they are
focus.
basically medications.
Let's focus on this latest development, that mosquitoes are attracted to people who are already infected with malaria. What does this mean now?
Well, at least it means we are a step closer to finding a way to totally treat or prevent transmission of the Plasmodium parasite that causes malaria. Because if mosquitoes are attracted to people who are already infected, then it means if you break this cycle, then we break transmission of the parasite from one mosquito, from one person to the other and through the mosquito. So that cycle will be broken. Before, what was thought to attract mosquitoes was carbon dioxide. And as we've heard is that this particular people who are infected and have this chemical, they produce more carbon dioxide, which was what was attracting mosquitoes previously, because people who were thought to be big and are producing a lot of carbon dioxide attracted mosquitoes somewhat. So at least now we are a step closer to finding out why it is that they have more carbon dioxide. There are other, prior to this, there are other things that are thought to attract mosquitoes, and one of the common one, and I think everyone knows, was that the blood group, where 20% of
Yeah, people say the sweeter your blood. I don't know how blood can be sweet, but that they're
it's not
attracted
really
to
sweeter,
sweeter.
but people with blood group O had been found to attract mosquitoes more than the people with blood group A and B.
Right.
So that was one of the reasons. So they were thinking that blood type and genetics were one of the things that were causing mosquitoes to be attracted to certain people. Also, the other thing that had been thought to attract mosquitoes was the production of lactic acid. So people who exercise a lot, especially outdoors, there was a combination of producing lactic acid and excreting them through their skin and their pores in the skin. And with that also, they produce a lot of carbon dioxide because of the metabolism and the exercise. So these people are also thought to attract these mosquitoes.
Right. I mean, let's focus more on the means of either treating or preventing malaria following this latest development, because the story here is that mosquitoes prefer to feed on blood, for people who are already infected, prefer to, but that doesn't mean that they do not feed on blood for people who are not already infected. So isn't that an impediment, so to speak, with this new development?
Well, it isn't, because what scientists are looking for is to break that cycle. So if they find that mosquitoes prefer infected blood, then they'll find a way of cutting short the transmission between the mosquito and not the transmission, but the contact between the infected person and the mosquito, so that they can break the cycle of transmission. So it's an important step, and as the scientists have said, more investigations, more research needs to be done into this, so that they can find out a way. Is it a different medication? Is it a different way of preventing mosquito spread? Or what do we do to people who've been infected? Do we get a different sort of medication that when the mosquito takes the infected blood and the medication, then it stops the parasite from growing? So a lot more research definitely will go into this area in order to find out how to curb malaria.
All right, well, let's hope that will be giving us the answers. Our medical correspondent, Dr. Mercy Korir there, just giving us more context to the new development, saying that mosquitoes prefer to feed on blood from people who are already infected with malaria. Could this lead to a new means of medication that may prevent malaria? We'll wait and see. You are watching